Hello and welcome to New Parents in Training. So recently, Dyson has some really good sale on their handheld vacuum devices. Now, we got a bunch of them to test out and see which one we really like. And in today's episode, I'm gonna answer the question whether or not you should get the newest version, the Gen5 Detect, or the slightly older model, the V15. Now, the stuff I'm gonna go through, the similarity and the difference between the two main vacuums, and I'll also go through some of the accessories, and lastly, the pricing. So first thing, let's talk about the vacuum. The similarity is the fact that they both are about the same size, with the Gen5 Detect a little bit heavier than the V15. For the canister, they both at 0.2 gallons, so dustbin, they are the same size. And another similarity is the fact that now both of this, you can remove the batteries. That means you can actually buy a spare one. If your first battery run out of juice when you are vacuuming, you can just swap it out and then pop in the new one and vacuum. The other similarity is the suction. Now granted, with the Gen5 Detect, it has slightly better suction on paper. It's 115% of suction power versus the V15 at 100%. I don't know how they come up with that figure, but anyway, the way I tested it was just having like detergent powder on the floor and also rice and beans and see how well they suck up. And both of them able to get the job done. And they are really powerful. Like places I've been to on carpet, there were like a bunch of hairs I wasn't able to get from other vacuum machines. Both this machine was able to get them. So those are the similarities, and let's talk about the main difference. So the main difference is when you look at it, one has a trigger and the other one doesn't. If you have used any of the Dyson handheld vacuums before, you will notice that they always come with a trigger. Now the trigger is in place. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm a little bit on the fence of not liking it, solely because the fact that when I need to vacuum the whole house, it takes some time. And if I keep putting my index finger on the trigger, my finger is gonna get really tired. And that happens quite a bit. But from Dyson's point of view, because this vacuum uses battery, so when you pull the trigger, it turns on. Once you release, it turns off. So it helps save battery life. Now, the reason I dislike it is because my finger gets really tired. But also the reason I like it is because if you need to do a short vacuuming, this is really good. You just hold the trigger and then vacuum whatever area and then just stop. Now come to the Gen5 Detect. So this one, they took away the trigger. Now there's only an on-off button on the back. So you press it once to turn it on and press again to turn it off. So that means you literally have to physically press the button to turn it off. Otherwise it will just keep running. But at the same time, you can give your finger a rest. You can just hold the vacuum with your hand instead of one finger on the trigger. So that helps, especially if you have arthritis, then you don't need to have that index finger on the trigger the whole time, just the button, right? And also something that's major change from the physical point of view, the air filter on the Gen5 Detect is much bigger than V15 because they use a better HEPA filtration system. Slightly better. It's a little bit toss up. And also the screen, it does have one new feature on there that the V15 doesn't have. When you are vacuuming, you can actually see how clean the area you just vacuumed. If it's in blue, that means it's still dirty. White is getting there, and green means clean. Now for the V15, it doesn't have that feature. The only feature it has is just showing you what kind of particle you've been vacuuming up from different sizes of microns that will show up, bigger size or small size. The last major difference is the runtime. Now on paper, Gen5 Detect is up to 70 minutes of runtime and the V15 is up to 60 minutes. Now in the real life test I did for both these machines, I run them through using the boost mode, so the highest mode that they both have. I'm vacuuming my second floor, which consists of hard surface and also carpet. Now with that combination, I was able to get on Gen5 9 minutes and 20 seconds. And with the V15, I was able to get 10 minutes and 0.8 seconds. There's about 40 seconds of difference for the V15 versus the Gen5. Closer look, what I realized is, look at the size of the battery. Even though the Gen5 looks bigger, but when you are flip it over, the Gen 5 battery is only 2500 milliamp versus the V15 is at 3600 milliamp. The actual battery size is actually bigger in the V15. So that's why I get a little bit of more runtime than versus the Gen 5 detect. Okay, next, I'm going to talk about the accessories. Accessory can be very expensive. You have to factor that in when you are purchasing this type of vacuums. Now, if they don't include a certain type of accessory, certain type you can do without, but certain type I think is must-have. So here I lay out the must-haves. So you see here there are 6, but technically there are 3 different types of heads here. Silver ones are from the V15 and the darker ones are from the Gen 5 detect. Now as you can see, the main heads, they are the same, and the carbon fiber fluffy optic, they are the same, and so is the anti-tangle screws here, they are the same. Now when you are making your purchase, make sure that all 3 of them are included, because each one of them costs a lot of money. Especially these 2 main heads, they are well over $100 each. Now, one thing good about Dyson is all their accessories can be interchangeable from older model to the newer model. So if you have something that you see you like down the road, you can always purchase that part. But the main concern you should look into is the main vacuum itself, right? One other accessory that I want to talk about, I think that you should consider is this tube here. Now the reason I want to talk about this tube is it's 2-in-1. Yeah, so it's very neat. So they have this crevice tool and a soft brush. Now that replaces the older model, the crevice tool and a soft brush. So you no longer need to have like a bunch of tools lying around. Now you just need just one of this. And how cool is this, right? This I think is a must-have, but it did not come with my V15 when I made my purchase. However, if you look on Dyson.com now, it actually does come with the V15 Absolute. So when you are making your purchasing decisions, you should also consider the parts that come with the vacuums, because they do cost a lot by themselves individually. Now, I have gone through the difference between the vacuums and some of the must-have accessories, so now it comes down to the pricing. At the time of filming, Gen 5 detect is at $949.99. With the V15, actual retail price is at $749.99. But if you look on Dyson.com, they're actually having a special at $574.99. That's $375 difference. So when you are making your purchasing decision, you should definitely look into the deals and discount that they have. If both machines are at the same price, then definitely go with the Gen 5 detect because it's a newer model and slightly better than the V15. But given that the heavy discount on the V15, at this point in time, it's no-brainer to just go with the V15. And for more savings, you should look into Rakuten. The bare minimum that they give is 1% cashback. But there are many times that they actually give 10% cashback when you are purchasing from Dyson.com. And also different credit card will give you different incentive as well. American Express does give you 2% of cashback with Dyson product from Dyson.com. Some credit card give you 1%. So those are the list of items you should check when you are buying this high ticket item. So for us, we're gonna go with the V15. Simply because how much saving we have over the Gen 5 detect. And the benefits are almost exactly the same. The $375 does make a whole lot of difference when we're doing the purchasing decision. Anyway, if you have any questions, comment down below. Until next time, bye.